A lot of controversy with the Switch 2 going on right now. I know everybody's upset. We got to talk about it. Got my boy Aege, got my boy Lock. I kind of want to get that stuff out the way first. I kind of want to get this pricing bullshit out the way because it's been
that's a heavier topic right there.
It's a heavier topic. I feel like it's a lot of bullshit, but everyone knows the news. $80 games are a thing. Mario Kart 8, not 8, but Worlds, excuse me, is the only one that's been confirmed to be $80. I don't think there's been another game that's been announced for 80, but 70 seems like the base for a lot of first party titles, and select titles will be $80. We'll have to see which other ones get announced for that. How y'all feeling about that personally?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either, to be honest with you.
I'm glad we all agree on that.
I'm not a fan, but like we was talking about when this shit happened live and a little bit after, it's like I understand, and as a business, it's like, oh, you got the games that are guaranteed to sell, so you don't. It's kind of like motherfuckers joking around, haha, GTA $100. Motherfuckers still gonna buy GTA.
Exactly.
Motherfuckers still gonna buy Mario Kart.
They will.
They know this. We know this. So it's like, it sucks. You are supposed to protest with your wallet and shit of that nature, but I think it's Mario Kart. And if it's not Mario Kart, it's gonna be Zelda Breath of the Asshole or whatever the fuck comes out next year. Or Smash. Y'all definitely paying $100 for Smash. It's like, they know it. Like, we know it. It sucks, but if that's where we're going right now,
it's a frame trap.
It's
a frame trap. Like, there's literally nothing to do unless you just are willing to skip out on the games that you really want to play. Like, I don't know if I'll do that. Like, the next whatever Monolith Soft is working on, like, I fear that could be $80, and I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
If it's good, I think I drop it.
There's always something for everybody. It's like, it's gonna be that one that gets you.
And the thing is, like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, well, you weren't gonna buy the game. I mean, it's true, you weren't gonna buy the game anyways if 10 extra bucks, is swaying you. But it's not even about that. It really is the principle. It really is what it does to the market, the industry, and the direction that it pushes us in. That's the part.
Yeah.
It sets the precedent completely, because now any game is going to be justifiable from Nintendo to be at that price point. Any Kirby game, any Mario game, anything that they make, it's a shift. They set the tone with this. They set the tone. With that being said, now, do we have an expectation as a consumer here for the game to be worth that price point, or are they still selling us a $60 game, but just they tacked on $10 more?
That's where it gets messy. And I was gonna ask like the similar thing. It's like, because I know everybody's gonna be like pointing at like what Mario Kart or whatever game FromSoft puts out. Say that FromSoft game is like $80.
No way, no chance.
Yeah, I don't see it happen, but I'm saying, like, hypothetically, people are gonna be like, this game has fucking reused assets from 20 fucking years ago or whatever Dark Souls 1 came out.
Yeah.
But it's like, then it's up to the person, because it's like, okay, me personally, I don't care about reused assets or whatever the fuck, as long as they're making a banger. Elden Ring was a banger,
Yeah.
That shit is
experience.
Exactly. It's reuse, photo bash, all type of shit, all over the place. But they still cooked. And I guess it comes down to the person on where they draw the line with that,
If I'm being honest, the only people that I'm concerned about that with are third party. I don't think that Nintendo games, for the most part, are gonna come out and feel like they're not worth the price. For the most part, I mean, unless it's a genre you just don't care about. Like, I don't care about Donkey Kong or platformers. I'm not buying that. Mario Kart is cool. I'm not buying that. I'll buy the bundle, but other than that, I wouldn't drop $80 for it. So it's like, it depends on the genre for me personally. But as far as Nintendo first party games, though, for the most part, I feel be worth the money. It's just third party. I really don't think. I think the most that they'll do and get away with porting their games over to Switch is $70, like with Cyberpunk. Like, that might be the only amount of money that they could charge for before people are just like completely throwing their hands up in the air and saying fuck no to this shit. It's not worth it.
And that's kind of why I even brought it up, because it seems like, for right now at least, the only, like, because what I'm seeing people talk about is Mario Kart, because it is the only game being $80 right now. And it's like, oh, they're saying Mario Kart. The game looks the same. I haven't played Mario Kart 8 enough to know if they're reusing anything, so I can't confirm or deny it. I would hope to think so, that they're not, because Mario Kart 8 been around since what, 2013?
Something like that, right? Yeah. The models look new. like
Yeah,
character
like the
models and
models and
shit.
shit look new to me. But like people are like, oh, the game looks the same. Like they're reusing shit obviously for this game. I'm like, hey, I can't confirm or deny it.
Yeah, I
So I'm
don't
like,
know.
okay, if it's for Mario Kart and it's the only game being 80 right now, I can understand where people come from, especially if that's like they're kind of like their trigger point, where it's like, all
Yeah.
right, that's where I'm drawing the line.
I'm gonna let them rock. I'm not even gonna sit here and fight against their anger, because I saw the chat for the treehouse. Everyone was spamming drop the price. Like, you couldn't look at the chat for 2 seconds without seeing a wall of text of people screaming about the price of shit. So Nintendo knows at this point. I don't think that went over their heads. Everyone was talking about it on Twitter today, and it's just not a good look. You either have to address that or pray and hope that people don't care. So you'll have to see what the sales are looking like. But for Mario Kart, that's the problem. The sales are gonna look good regardless, because it's Mario Kart. And I don't like that. I don't like that shit. But
They picked the right game to test launch this on, because it's not even a test, but it was a bold move on their end. But they picked the right game for that.
yeah, and we told them which game to choose too. So
That's a fact.
we
And
told them.
if it sticks around, we know what games are like next. It's gonna be the big ones. It's gonna be your Zeldas. It's gonna be your 3D Mario's. It's gonna
Yeah.
be Smash. Smash might be the game to
Oh
push it
my
to 90.
god! Oh my god! Smash sells so well, bro. It's
That's
the best
thing.
selling fighting game.
They can't go past the 80, bro. They can't. Like, that to me is a little bit outrageous. Like, it's already outrageous as it is, but now it's not on a whim, but it's like, what's the precedent for the difference between the 80 and the 90? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like how
and
bad do
then
you want it?
yeah, and then it's like, okay, if Nintendo's getting away with 80 and 90s, what's stopping any AAA or other company to do 80 to 92? It's dangerous territory.
It's got to be us. It has to be the consumers that slap them back down. Speaking of
This shit ain't
price,
going on. Yeah.
speaking of price, we
Fan
got
favorite.
the Nintendo Switch 2 edition games prices and feature breakdown. We got FPS and resolution improvements with textures, and then we have improvements with DLC. A lot of different tiers. A little confusing with all the different levels to this shit. You know, some of it I like, some of it I don't care about, and some of it is not ideal. But 14 or so games on the list. The only games that are confirmed to get a free upgrade: Mario Odyssey, 3D World, Pokemon Scarlet Violet, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Link's Awakening, Echoes of Wisdom, Game Builder, Clubhouse, Captain Toad, Big Brain Academy, and ARMS. The fuck?
Man, the fuck is that list?
That list is
very,
crazy, man.
very sparse. That's cool and all, but this list is too short. I hope that this list expands, right?
Yes.
There needs to be 5 to 10 times the amount of games on this list, if I'm being honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got
Because-
some notable like misses here. It's like
Yeah,
off the top of the dome, I'm already thinking like, of course, it's Astral Chain for me and you, but
of course. They also have games with improvements. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond seems to be one of those games that will require payment for an upgrade. They have the improved resolution and frame rate, but they also have the improved textures, which I do like. You know, it does look good. It does look better. And at 4K, 4K 60, I want to have some fresh new textures on top of that. But that looks like that's going to be a $10 upgrade for something like Prime 4 on Switch 2.
okay, quick question. Because I know there's multiple tiers. Is there like a tier that gets like, of course, like, you know, the resolution, maybe like touch ups? Does that include like loading times, or is that just like on the console? Because there was like hyping up the loading times on like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, but I don't know if they was hyping it up for every game.
I'm gonna just go off this list that we have here, honestly. Like, for example, Pokemon, Legends EA, Kirby, Mario Party, those are gonna get frame rate and resolution enhancements. Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom has all of that on top of faster load times, on top of HDR
Exactly.
support. So I don't
My
think
mind immediately went to Metroid Dread because those elevator sequences were hell.
long. Yeah.
Yeah, they were super long.
If it's got HDR support, if it's got faster load times, I feel like that's a line that they're drawing somewhere. Like that changes it for them. So it's not going to be flat across the board. Some games will have faster load times, some won't. Some will have HDR support, some will not. It's not uniform. Nothing's uniform. The prices aren't uniform, the upgrade paths aren't uniform, and the upgrades themselves are not
Dark is
uniform.
scaring me.
It's
dirty, dog.
that's what it's looking like. $20 seems like the ceiling for the upgrades that have, an expansion pass or a DLC attached to it for extra content. I don't really mind too much for that because it's extra content, but it is an extra $20 if that's what it pans out to be.
Is that like the price, or is that you just saying like that's the
It'll-
furthest you think will go?
That's the
like
furthest,
20?
yeah, that I think it'll go out. There's no way that they go past 20 for the upper echelon of the upgrade paths. I think 20 is going to be the most, depending on if it's got DLC or not. $10 is going to be more of just visual and performance enhancements. Yeah, textures. Let me see one other thing here. We got the game key cards explanation graph. This is funny. This is a non-issue. I feel. I mean, it's an issue. It's just not a new one. It's not a new issue. That's the developers have the ability to choose what type of game cartridge they want to use for the game that they're putting on Switch 2. There's a multitude of different prices for different sizes. If they choose a smaller size, it's cheaper for them. And we're noticing that those games typically are less expensive. It's cheaper for them to produce that physical cartridge. It's a lower storage amount, and the rest is just a straight download. People don't like it. I understand why. I don't like it either. But if that's the one thing that they're going to be using to keep the cost down from it ballooning to $70, $80 for these third-party games, I'm gonna take it at this point because fuck.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. It's already been established as a system. So honestly, the way they broke it up is smart.
Yeah, it's been happening for like years on other platforms. Anyways, it's like you're not gonna like get your game most of the time and just like pop it in. And it's like I'm free from my game from downloads and updates and shit.
Yeah, that's how most PS5 games work. You pop it in. There's a mandatory install because not everything's on the disc. These games are huge. The silver lining here is that on Switch 1, the games that couldn't fit on cartridges, they just stopped putting them on the cartridge to begin with. They just started throwing download codes in the cases and said, well, here you go. You can't trade that in. You can't let a friend borrow that. You stuck with that on your system. At the very least, you can trade these games back in. You can borrow them to your friends and shit like that. So
not really a fucking issue. It's been around. Like we've been dealing with this.
Not ideal.
And they rectified their past mistake too. So
yeah, put something in the box. Don't give me a box with a code in there. That's so disrespectful.
Facts.
Yeah, piece of paper, crazy.
That's
fuck.
crazy.
Piece of paper is crazy as hell.
No manual, no cartridge, just a code.
Open the box and it's empty. You just got the plastic.
That's too dystopian for me. I don't like that. But let me talk about some good shit real quick.
Yeah, I was like, yo, sprinkle some sunshine.
There's some good shit here, right?
Sauce in here, man. Sprinkle some sauce on.
I'm gonna be cutting this down a lot, I promise, because I'm not trying to spend 20 minutes talking about doom and gloom shit. But there is some good news here. I'm not gonna lie. We saw the Switch 2 version of Prime 4 running at 4K 60 frames per second. Holy shit! I did not think that we would get those kinds of resolutions at those kinds of frame rates. Even for Switch 1 up enhanced games, I did not think we would see something running this clean, this smooth on a Switch 2. That's
the part that like blew your socks off. It was the performance mode that got me. I was like, because I just didn't expect 120 on the Switch 2.
That too. That also was crazy.
I didn't think 120 was achievable. Honestly, I wasn't even hoping for it. I didn't even want them to try. I was telling Dark 4K was not needed. I would have been happy with 1440p.
Yeah, same. I don't even need 4K.
The fact that we got it is blowing my mind, and I could lay down and do the 1080p 120 FPS with the HDR. Come on,
yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with all that. What am I doing with all them frames? Like,
it's a lot of fidelity. A lot of fidelity for something that's a couple inches away from my face.
All this price that we're paying though, like, absolutely. I don't know. Give me 120. Give me 4K. If we're spending all this money on games, and the console is even a little bit more than I thought it was going to be. No, give me 4K, give me 120. Maybe not at the same time, but 4K 60 is good enough for me. And 1080p native with a 120 is... I don't even know what to think about that. Like that's beyond what I expected. Way beyond what I expected. So I'm going to take that.
I think that's kind of just like the takeaway with the Switch 2 for me. It's like, it's beyond what I expected. A lot of the bad stuff that we talked about, sure. But like, just like what's under the hood and like how it's like running all these games, I'm just like, damn, Because like, yeah, of course, there's still going to be the PS4 Pro or even like the PlayStation 5 is going to have the better version of these games. But it looks just close enough. Like, yo, I could play my Elden Ring on Nintendo Switch 2 on the TV, but it'll look damn good if when I get it on the smaller screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like everything's gonna be condensed enough. I'm just like, yo, this is gonna look amazing. So
And you can take it with you on the go, bro. That's the thing. That whole factor in itself is like that'll be the deciding factor for most people. On the go, on my flight, on the train, as I'm out and about, like that type of flexibility, and you still get PS5 like graphics. Come on, bro.
I was looking at the Final Fantasy VII remake. They dropped some really clean images of that. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. They've recently updated that on Steam Deck, and I think it's because
I heard it was looking good on that.
Yeah, I think it's because they've been working on the Switch 2 version. They've been optimizing it a lot for Switch 2, so I think everything is just benefiting from it, and it looks clean. I don't know if we have the full. I don't think we have the full like frame rate and resolution analysis of that particular game yet, because I don't think we got a release date for that yet. So that's probably going to be later on in the year. But visually, it looks very crisp.
The sequel, I don't know.
Yeah, that's going to be another story.
They need maybe like another year to like rock out with that one, because that game is kind of wide. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah,
it looked good enough to when I couldn't discern. Like I couldn't. If you told me to tell you the difference, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy looks damn near like the PlayStation Pro version. Like I'm not even tripping.
It looks like the PS4 Pro, because I remember that base PS4. I remember that launch game, bro. That was rough. That shit was rough visually and performance wise. But this looks very clean. I give them props for that. Metroid Prime 120. They drop in third-party games and they're looking good. Cyberpunk. That is gonna be a big test, right? Because they came out. They had Cyberpunk on the show floor today. They had it in docked mode. They say that it's gonna be 1080p on docked. I think 720p handheld, and I think that the frame rate it's not 60. It's looking like an unlocked frame rate. So 40 and above was where people were saying that it felt like. The demo that they had was a 7-week-old build of the game.
It's from like a step to a half step. So it's kind of like it is at that like PS4 Pro quality, but it could like for certain games like Cyberpunk, that's a tall task, because even on like those consoles, that game was running kind of rough.
Yeah, you need a next gen for Cyberpunk when it came out, honestly.
So it's a tall order. So I could see that like, okay, it's probably, I wouldn't hold my breath for the 60, but if they work their magic, they work their magic on that one.
Great. I don't think that they'll get 60. Personally, I think they'll be able to get to a nice unlocked frame rate with VRR, right? Maybe they'll lock it to 40 and then use VRR, or keep it unlocked. I don't know if they'll get to a lock 60 with the visuals that it was looking like, at least like to keep it looking sharp, because once you start dropping the resolution, it's that blurriness is just a bitch.
Yeah.
Build that they showed was the Phantom Liberty DLC. That version of that portion of the game is not on PS4 or PS4 Pro. It's only current gen.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was gonna ask. It has to if it's like a complete edition, right? So it has to have Phantom Liberty.
Yeah.
So if it's just that expansion, I wouldn't expect that to be 60. Base game, on the other hand,
I think that's more.
You could probably get some there.
I think that's more likely to get a more stable, higher frame rate than just 40. Phantom Liberty expansion, that might be a little bit rougher, but for the big, like the bulk of the game, at least for Cyberpunk, should be even more stable than even 40. If it only took them 7 weeks to get the more intensive portion of the game running and looking the way that it does, that's not bad. We'll see though. How are y'all feeling about the online? I'm thinking we have game invites already for Switch 1, so that should be good to go for Switch 2. We have the voice chat. I feel like the online is going to be a lot more up to snuff. We got Wi-Fi 6 going on, Ethernet ports, all that good shit, right?
Built into the dock, yeah.
I think it's not even like a bare minimum. Like at this point, we're just caught up. I don't think there's anything to write home about or anything to like dismiss. It's like, all right, we're caught up with everybody else now. At the very least. I just want to be able to type in fucking, I don't know, Sniper Elite 77, and then I get the fucking name. I'm not trying to scan shit. I'm not trying to type in a fucking 12-digit code. Like, man,
it's a nice.
I'm just trying to type the name.
I don't mind the scanning shit as an addition, but you're right. Like I want to be able to type in someone's name and that just be it. Like
It
no
just
more
works,
friend
right?
codes, no more long 12-digit pat. Like get that shit has got to go. That shit should have been gone. I was surprised it was even on Switch to begin with, but that can't be here. If you're gonna be having games like Call of Duty and Kirby Air Riders and all this, like a lot of multiplayer focused games, you have to make it as seamless as possible. And a 12-digit friend code is not. Nobody wants that.
You type the name, you got to drop down of all the people that got similar or close names. You click the one that's your friend. That's
Exactly.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Show me the icon. Show me the name. I know there's a lot of confusion, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger going on, and a lot of it's justified. I'm not gonna lie. Some misinformation. There's no $90 US games. All right,
I was scared.
let's get that out,
Yeah.
please. None of that,
I
but
panicked when I saw that.
I did too. I'm not gonna lie. But that's Twitter for you. But there's a lot of good games coming. A lot of third-party games coming. I think Doom Dark Ages will get announced this year at some point as well, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm excited. At the end of the day, I'm excited. I'm gonna look forward to everything. I'm picking it up. I'm there for it.
Yeah, word. A lot of doom and gloom, but I'm excited to play the 1,000 of Switch games I have downloaded that I was waiting to just play at 60 FPS. Probably still gotta wait, but hey, that's fine.
I'm excited as well. This is a good step, like in the right direction for Nintendo. I feel like they're finally listening to the community's complaints. They're making a lot of changes. I'm like, my impression of Nintendo now is completely different. Like, this is definitely not the same Nintendo that we knew, loved, and still hated. But now it's a whole different ball game.
Not bad. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Appreciate y'all for listening.
Type shit.
Y'all catch y'all in the next video. Peace out.
Peace.